What's the deal with crowns? And why can't you just get a filling? Well, there are parameters that dentists follow to make that determination, and this is basically what it is. I call it the rule of thirds. If more than a third of the tooth is going to be made of filling, crown. If less than a third of the tooth is going to be made of filling, they're going to fill it. And this is basically what that looks like. Here you got your tooth. So less than a third of the tooth is in filling. I filled it. There we go. Nice, beautiful filling. We're going to have longevity. It's going to look great. We're going to have a lot of durability. High function. Good choice on that. Let's take a look at the tooth that did not follow that. You got a tooth over here. This is more than a third of the tooth is made of filling. A tooth cannot be made of all filling. It doesn't work that way. A filling can only withstand so much compressive force. So the bigger the filling, the more it has to absorb. And again, it can't absorb more if the filling is more than a third of the overall surface area. That's too much. So when it's too much, this is what happens. You put force on the filling actually contracts slightly, and the more surface area there is, the more contraction there is. A micro gap forms between the filling and the tooth structure. In that gap goes bacteria. And over time, the bacteria will make it to the nerve. You now need to get a root canal. Not good, all right? Now we need to do a crown. So originally, if this tooth followed the parameters, the rule of thirds, they would have the crown, they'd have longevity, they more than likely would not need a root canal, and they'd have a lot healthier situation going on there. So that's that. Let's look at another tooth over here. This tooth was probably over 80% of the surface was filling. Again, rule of thirds, way beyond that. So when you put force on the filling, it pulls at all the edges. It translates that force to the edges, but there's not enough tooth structure to withstand that force. So what do you get when you can't withstand the forces? Fracture, 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 fracture. Part of the tooth just broke off over there. This person's going to require a root canal when they originally didn't need one. A lot of work is going to be put into fixing this tooth back to its original health. So as long as you follow the parameters of the rule of thirds, you make the proper determination whether or not that tooth is going to have longevity in a filling or longevity in a crown. The rule of thirds. That basically describes why you require a crown or filling, and that's a deal with crowns.